This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hey everybody, welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I am super excited because Michelle Fern, the amazing host of a Cattitude podcast, asked us to chat with her about our multi-cat household.
Oh boy, do we have multi-cat.
Yeah, with Rita at 19 and me at 11, that's a multi-cat household. We are very excited about this topic. So as soon as we get back, we're going to jump right in.
How many of you have pets? My hand's raised. Now think about how lucky you are to have such a sweet little pet in your life, and that pet is lucky to have you too. But unfortunately, there are countless pets out there that don't have a home to call their own. However, Bob's from Skechers is trying to change that. So we developed Bob's for dogs and cats to help pets in need. With every purchase of adorable Bob's footwear or fun, stylish apparel, or even the cutest Bob's pet accessories, Skechers makes a donation to Petco Love to help save shelter pets. And with your help, we've already saved the lives of over 1 million pets and raised over $7 million. So while you're getting style and comfort with features like Skechers' famous memory foam cushioning, you're also helping to save an adorable pet in need and helping another lucky owner be connected with a future best friend and companion, because happiness is having a loving pet by your side. Find Bob's at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, select Petco locations, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. I teased you, we've got Michelle Fern with Rita and I discussing our multi-cat households, the myths, the benefits, and maybe a few struggles too.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Here we go.
I've always wondered, how do you handle, 3 cats, 5 cats, but 19, 11, how do you do that?
It's challenging, and I have the great roots to prove it.
Between you guys, you have 30 cats. That's like 30. I have 5. Yeah. I thought that's a lot. That's a lot of cats. But 30.
I know. Bobby, we interviewed Bobby Flay during his press junket for Made by Nacho, and he went, wait a minute, together you guys have 30 cats? And then he said, I aspire to that. I don't know. Be careful.
No, you don't. No.
So I want to know, let's start from the beginning. How did it start? Did you decide one day, I need to have more cats? Or did everybody just, I have this stray and that stray, and they just started adding up? How did it all begin?
Do you want me to start that, Linda?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh, right. Well, I had 2 cats when I was married, and then I got divorced. I was single. I didn't have any pets. And the first one was, we found a cat in the bushes where I worked that was abandoned by its mom. So, of course, I took it home, and then I thought she'd be lonely. So by then I had a different job, and somebody there said, oh, I have a kitten that needs a home. So there was number 2. And then another cat showed up outside my door and decided to walk into my apartment. So there was number 3. And it just snowballed from there. I moved cross country with 6 cats and moved back with 17 cats. I now have 19. I had 20 at one point. But I got involved in volunteering for rescues and shelters. So a lot of times those special needs cats, the unadoptable ones, the ones that we knew were never going to make it in the shelter, fell into my lap. Either the rescue people would call me, or later on the people in the shelter, especially once I moved here to the Carolinas, they're like, oh, we know you have cats and that you know all about cats. And we have this cat that has one leg that's got to be amputated, and she's 4 weeks old, and we have to euthanize her unless you take her. So yeah, I took her and her brother, and it just kind of went from there. I think Linda's happened a little differently though. Linda?
Before we go to Linda, I have a quick question. Yes. So your cats are not, you're not fostering any, they're all yours.
I started as a foster failure with some kittens for Save a Life Rescue. And Diana, who was the owner of Save a Life Rescue then, she said, "Oh, we just got these kittens and my barn's not ready yet and the heat's not working. Can you just take these two?" That was Pinky Boo Boo. "Can you just take these two home for the week and then you can give them back to me the next weekend?" Well, of course, after spending a week in my house and then bringing them back to the Petco adoption events, they were so freaked out and I just couldn't give them back to her. And then she got there and I said, "I'm sorry, Diana, I can't give these kittens back to you. I'm attached now." And she opened up her truck and said, "Look at how many kittens I have. Do you really think I wanted those two back?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then the next year I fostered 4 kittens for her. And yeah, they never left.
Okay, I get the picture there. I get the picture. Yeah. Linda, how did yours happen?
So I love cats, and my daughters, Cassie and Lizzie, love cats. But my husband was a self-professed cat hater. You can find him with a cat snuggling in his lap at any time, night or day now. So, don't worry about the cats. But he wasn't going to have a cat. So I took my daughter and volunteered at a rescue, let her just pet cats, socialize cats, to give her cat fix. So we kept talking about this one cat, Subra. And finally, out of nowhere, Brian was like, "Okay, but just one cat." And, we thought pigs were flying. So we adopted the cat. And then I came home and told him the owner of the rescue says they do better in pairs. "Okay, just 2 cats. And then we ran into her and a cat that had been with someone for years. They had to move and couldn't take the cat with them. So they sent it back to the shelter and the owner was just so upset. And "Will you please okay, so just 3 cats." But then that cat needed a friend. So 4 is actually, I think, a really nice number. Cats go off and sleep somewhere. I was raised with dogs. I wanted somebody that was going to be with me all the time. So if you have 4, you have a pretty good chance of having somebody on your lap when you need them. So that was a good number for me. But then, much like Rita, things happen. There was a cat actually where Rita lives that had FIV and no one would adopt him. And she was full. So she keeps sending me these pictures. Yeah, she was at 20. So she keeps sending me these pictures with these eyes. I'm like, fine, I'll take this cat. Found out 7 months later, he had a bonded partner. So she came in. So that's pretty much how it grew. And we were at 8. Which I'd like to say between 4 and 6 preferably. But then Warren passed away and then my daughter had to move back home after her husband passed. They had 4 cats. What am I going to do? Tell her, "Well, your husband's died and you're going to have to give up your children." So 11 cats it was. So,
and a dog. And
a small dog. Yes. Poor Sadie gets so ignored. But it's not, I don't think anyone in a healthy place sets out to have 10 or more cats. No. I just don't. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of struggle, but it can be done. It can be done happily and it can be rewarding. I think as we age, I know 20 was just not that difficult for Rita, but she's finding that bending down and scooping boxes. And so when she got to 19, she said, "I'm not filling that spot. I need to get this down a bit."
I think I made it clear to the shelter here in Lancaster that don't call me with any more, because I took 2 15-year-olds just before Christmas last year because they know me. My mom runs the Humane Society here in Lancaster, South Carolina. So they called me saying, "Well, we have these 2 15-year-olds. Their human died and they've been in the shelter for 3 weeks and they're languishing. They're not doing well. Can you take them on by any chance?" Well, I took them, but I told them that's it. No more.
So, interestingly enough, that's how it started with me. Dennis actually walked into the house when I opened the door. I heard him yelling outside one night, opened the door. He walked in. The other 2 were just cats because I have 3 indoor and 2 outdoor, because the outdoor, I can't separate. The female would not be good indoor, but they have everything. They have a little house outside. Sure. They have everything they need.
Yes.
But I put the limit at 3 because I have some allergies to cats that it's mild enough so I can get away with 3.
Linda,
but any more than that,
too.
I don't know what I don't know. So, okay, 19 cats. Now this might be a little personal, but do you guys have like a mansion or something? Because 19 that's a lot of litter boxes and
well, yeah, you're supposed to have N+1, N being your number of cats. So really, I should have 20 litter boxes, but I have 15 because I have some that are double boxes that are big, and I'm home all day. This is what I do. I don't work outside the home right now. So I can scoop them as many times as they need.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No mansion. As a matter of fact, how many did you have when you were in your apartment, Rita? Now, don't think studio apartment. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment.
It was a
nice
1,200
size.
square foot apartment. I had 8 of them in that litter. The walk-in closet turned into the litter room. So I gave up my walk-in closet. So I had 8 of them in there. And then I had a couple others. I think I had 12 in that apartment.
Yeah.
So are all your cats indoor?
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't do outdoor at all.
Yeah.
Now I moved to this house. This house is 2,400 square foot, 2 level. However, all the cats but one live on the first floor. Scooter does not want to live on the first floor. He wants to stay up here. But so they don't even spread out. They come upstairs if I'm upstairs, but mostly they live on the first floor with me. So they're still living in about 1,200 square feet.
Wow. That's, and then as far as this is a little segue, but what are your feelings toward indoor, outdoor? Because I'll tell you mine before I hear yours. Even though I have 2 that are outdoor, I prefer indoor. And where I live, it's warm all year. So, and the cats actually have in their little house a heating device just for cats. But I know the female, I had to get a cat trapper to get her fixed. So she's so skittish, even after 5 years. So there's no way. And if I separate them, they'll be heartbroken. But I'm a big proponent on indoor because there's too much outdoor that could injure them.
You're giving them what they need, though, Michelle. So, they're safe. They have a place to go inside of a shelter place. So they're not exposed to rain and wind and cold when the weather gets weird. It sounds like they stick around your property. So they're not wandering off and having strangers do things to them. Hopefully they're not going in the street. But there are some outdoor cats that just don't want any part of us. If they've been born feral, ferals don't want any part of us. They really don't want to be indoors. That being said, if you've got a domesticated cat, I believe indoors only. I always told Linda, I think she feels the same way as I do. Yes. Imagine taking your toddler. Okay. I lived in an apartment complex that had, the whole thing was driveway, cars, people. Imagine taking your toddler as you're going out to work, setting him down in the parking lot and saying, okay, go do your thing. Have a good day. I'll be back in 8 hours. Go play.
Exactly. Right? Because there's people that drive nutty. I don't live in the wilderness, but there's raccoons and possums.
Yes.
Well, in LA, there's coyotes right in the city. So
I think someone spotted some alligators because we're in South Florida, but I haven't seen very many. So that's not so much, but I've seen the possums and raccoons. And I just think there's crazy speeder people, that.
Yes.
I think in the US, most cats are indoors.
No, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Should be, but I don't know that they are.
Yeah, it's definitely a should. And we have seen personally stories of people that, people do not want your cat in their yard. And you cannot confine a cat to a yard in the same way you can a dog, unless you've got like a catio or something. But, this is difficult to do. And the cat walked on my brand new car and scratched the paint. The cat dug up my flower bed.
What about your
people get mad
bushes,
about this.
Right?
Yeah, I've had this experience where an indoor-outdoor cat came over and dug up some freshly planted flowers. I wasn't mad at the cat because the cat was being a cat. But there are people who will consider that a pest much in the way we would consider a rat in the house, and they'll do things to the cat. It's not safe. But as you said, there are cats that just can't come inside. And so in that case, you do the best you can to keep them safe and give them everything that they need outside and keep them comfortable. It's out of your control. But if it's the person's choice, the choice, in my opinion, should always be inside.
They live twice as long. So we're going to pause here to take a break to hear from our wonderful sponsors, and then we'll be back to talk more about what it's really like to live in a multi-cat environment.
For those fortunate to have experienced the deep bond and unconditional love of a companion animal, the death that follows can be one of the most difficult and misunderstood losses to go through. Many times, this devastating loss goes unrecognized and trivialized by family and friends, leaving grieving pet parents struggling to find healthy ways to cope with the loss. In And I Love You Still, a thoughtful guide and remembrance journal for healing the loss of a pet, Dr. Julianne Corbin calls attention to the difficulties unique to the loss of a beloved pet. and provides an interactive and compassionate guide to help you process your loss and work towards coming to a place of peace and healing. For those interested in journal therapy and looking for a professionally written and compassionate resource to help understand and reconcile the grief associated with the loss of your pet, this book is for you. And I Love You Still, a thoughtful guide and remembrance journal by Julianne Corbin, is now available for purchase on Amazon and other major book retailers.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting, where we are on the Cattitude show, actually, hosted by the awesome Michelle Fern. And we are grateful for the opportunity to talk about what it's like to own, between us, 30 cats.
You know, I guess you have to be a cat behavior specialist to have this many cats in your house.
They
in
trained
your
us.
household. You'd have to. What about fighting?
Yeah, Rita's group, Rita's got her own personal clouder. They have become very accustomed to cats coming in and out. You know, as she mentioned, she'll get a call. We've got these senior cats. Their parent died. They're sadly not going to be with her long. Her cats have really adjusted to cats leaving and cats coming, and they're pretty good. I integrated 4 with 7 at once. That was really tough, and there was some fighting. You know, I spent a lot of time hashing things out with Rita. We talk on the phone a lot anyway, but I think it was really bad then. You know, we find the things to put in our toolkit to help, and we work with them. But it does help to be a behaviorist and have a behaviorist on call. I'll tell you, even when you are a behaviorist, when you're in a situation that is overwhelming, scary, whatever, anxiety producing, you kind of forget what you know sometimes and work on just that instinct.
It's
like,
true.
oh, that's my baby, protect it. And so there are times that Rita and I both, Rita will tell me something that's happening and I'll say, well, blah, blah. And she'll go, oh yeah, duh, I knew that. Or vice versa. It helps to have somebody to talk it out with. But I think as behaviorists, I think having this many cats has actually helped us in a lot of ways because, you know, I have a variety of 11 cats to see how they behave, how they react. I've seen the shy cats, the bully cats. I've got a story for just about everything at this point that could possibly happen that I can relate to because I've seen it.
Almost every now
much.
and then we'll hear something. We're like, that's new.
There's a new one. How'd that happen? Yes, exactly.
Do you ever do it? And this is for both of you. Do you ever mix up your cats? Because 11 maybe is not, but 19. I mean, do you ever, you know, there's tabbies and the tabbies are, I don't mix up mine, but there's only 5. So, but 19, I think I would mix them up. Or,
well, I know who's who, but sometimes the names, just like if you've got multiple children, you're going, till you get the right name out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But exactly. Yeah. My parents, Laura, Linda, whoever you are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually confuse them for each other. No, I haven't. But Linda has 3 black cats.
I have 3 black cats. And Baka is bigger than the others. Inky is a big boy, but not as big as Baka is. And Shadow is very small. However, if one of them just walks in and they're not standing together, there are moments when it's like, wait, who are you? So we tried putting a blue collar on Inky and a pink collar on Shadow, and then Baka's the one without the collar, but you know, occasionally they take them off. So that can be a struggle. And then my daughter's cat Harley looks very, very similar to my cat Karma, but Karma has some white on her paws and her chest. But if her back's to me, I don't know who you are.
All right. Now, here's something I'll bet everybody's thinking about because cats, they shed. Dennis is part Maine Coon. He sheds a lot. So with 3 cats, I have to vacuum every couple days. Or my significant other, he has to vacuum every couple days. So what about with 19 and 11 cats? Are you vacuuming every day?
Linda has been to my house and she knows I'm the world's worst when it comes to vacuuming because I don't want to scare the cats. They hate it. They run, they hide, they panic like this thing's going to suck them up and spit them back out. So luckily I have hardwood floors, but I have 2 rooms upstairs with wall-to-wall carpet, and I have a big throw area rug in my living room that really needs to be vacuumed more than it is. So I'm very bad about that. And Linda, you've got hardwoods like I do, though.
Yeah, we're pretty good about vacuuming at least twice a week. But as you said, Michelle, 11 cats, that's a lot of hair. So if I know someone's coming over, never surprise me. Always call first.
Yeah.
Vacuuming the sofa and the living room is like the first thing I do. Somebody's coming. Get the vacuum. Hurry up. So yeah, and it's part of it is, look, this comes with the territory. There's going to be cat vomit on the floor. You're going to step in a barefoot. There's going to be fur balls rolling around. Reminds me of those old Westerns with
tumbleweeds.
The tumbleweed rolling around. Yeah, it happens. It's part of the, nothing's perfect. And we love the cats, but that's one of the downsides.
What about, okay, here's something I'm sure people are thinking about too. 15 litter boxes and Rita has, right? And Linda, how many do you have?
I'm going to have to do math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10. Ooh. So yeah, it's still not the correct number, but it's not as many as I'm supposed to.
I think I have 4, and it's...
You have the right amount.
5. I have 5, and it smells sometimes. What do you do? And for 15, I don't know.
Scoop the litter. Yep. I get clumping litter. When you have kittens, you're not supposed to do clumping litter, but after they get older, you can. So I make sure I've got clumping litter. I scoop it a lot, and I use brands that aren't really heavily perfumed, because then you end up with a house that stinks like perfumed poop. Quite frankly, we love this formula called anti-icky poo that you can spray on your carpets or your sofa and sometimes after I scoop the litter, I'll spray a little bit inside the litter pan just to get any residual odor off, especially my lidded boxes. But I actually had a home vet come when I lived in the apartment still, and he said, I really expected to smell something in here, but I don't smell anything. And then I had another home vet come here to the house, and the only thing she chided me about was my lack of vacuuming. She didn't smell anything, but she's like, you really need to vacuum more. I'm like, I know. I just don't want to scare them. So yeah.
The first time I went to your apartment, Rita, I'm telling myself, I was dying to get in there and take a whiff because you said you kept it under control. You know that commercial, they've gone nose blind. This is totally what I thought was going on. And I walked in there and I'm trying to be inconspicuous going, and yeah, I didn't smell anything. So yeah, you did good. I got a litter genie and that changed my life. Diaper pails, same concept, same thing, get a diaper pail, whatever. So I have one in the downstairs bathroom and one in my bedroom so that before I'm going to bed or somebody, because you can scoop those boxes greatly and somebody's waiting for you to do that so they can go in there and poop and leave it for you to smell. We've all experienced this. So I'm going to get into bed. We've scooped the box. Somebody plops one. You just open the lid, put it in there. It keeps the smell in. It makes it much more convenient as opposed to grabbing the grocery sacks off the back porch and walking to each one.
We love litter genie.
It's a lot easier to scoop, walk in the room. Oh yeah, I should scoop it real quick, walk away. It helps a lot.
I think I just have Charlotte never covers and stink bombs everywhere. So
yes,
she was a feral cat adopted maybe 5 months in. So
that's why
she kind of has issues. She just
we have one of those.
What are you going to do?
Sometimes not covering is a sign of it's a dominance thing. Sometimes it's just because they weren't taught by their mommy kitty, but sometimes it's a dominance thing.
Yeah, I think she does it. It's definitely
there you
dominance. A little bit of spite. Okay, here's something. Yep. What is feeding time like? I try to picture it. I had at one time 2 dogs. Poor Zeusie's almost gone a year now, but the dogs would eat the cat food. So I got cat tree trays that actually Pet Life Radio started selling, and they're all raised. So this way the dogs don't eat the cat food. Now, funny enough, the cats eat the dog food because it's just Nikki. So we have the opposite problem. But
Linda has that issue.
Doing 5, it's not so bad. But I can imagine 19, 11. That I could do all 5 in maybe 10 minutes.
Well, I lay out downstairs. Linda's seen me do this numerous times, twice a day. I lay out, I think it's 24 bowls. The reason I do that is because some of the cats, they want the next bowl and the next bowl and next bowl. So I have to have more bowls than I have cats. And that's just for downstairs. Then I have to do a special upstairs trip to feed Scooter, who won't come downstairs, even though he can. And I usually have stragglers following me upstairs for seconds. Linda witnessed. I usually go to the stairs and I say something like, the second serving will commence on the Lido deck for anybody who's interested in second portion, right?
Oh, watching her feed the cats is the funniest thing in the world. I told my daughter once when we were visiting, I feel like I should be helping her, but this is better than any TV show I've ever seen.
No,
so, she really caters. Now, this is not necessary, but she really caters to her cats. And this one likes this and this one likes that. And so and you'll hear her talking to them and she'll be like, if I could just get a cup of coffee before, okay, I'll get this done. And then she'll say, why are you eating that? You don't like that one. And then, okay, fine, have this one. And then I guess I have to do this. So there's this whole running commentary going. And then okay, upstairs seating is coming. And some of them get served in the bedroom and some of them get served here.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yes. And so she's all over the house. And then some of them come back and act like they haven't been fed. It's absolutely hysterical. My cats are a little less spoiled than her cats. We open up the cans. We put down one bowl for each of them. They all commence in the kitchen. It is startling to come out. Like my husband does the evening feeding. And it is startling to walk into the kitchen and find 11 cats.
Oh, that video you did.
You can't walk through the room. It's crazy. It's like the swarm or something. Mm-hmm. But it's not too much more work in that part for me. But I won't allow my cats to talk to Rita's cats and find out how spoiled they are because there's going to be a problem.
What about your dog? Does she try to eat the cat food?
She knows to stay away from the wet cat food. She does eat the dry every once in a while. And I gave up, pick your battles.
Cat food makes dogs fat, and dog food's not good for cats because it's not pure. Usually it's not pure protein, which is what cats need.
Okay, now backing up on this question of feeding them all, is it expensive? I mean, I would have to have another 2 jobs to feed.
Well, yeah, that's a challenge. I spend about $800 a month on Chewy. Sometimes a little more if I'm doing a whole litter change out, scrubbing the boxes down. It's more because I'll have to order more litter. Yeah, but it's expensive. So please buy my book. I really need it. I really need the money.
Book a behavior session. Something we must feed the animals.
Okay, plug your book. Where's your book? Where can we find your book?
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. It's called Sadie's Heart, and it's all about my cat who was not supposed to live past 6 months, but because I loved her so much, she lived to be almost 7 years. She had a ventral septal defect in her heart. So it's all about my journey of discovering that, finding right medications, helping her to live as long as possible. And then what do you do with that grief in the end? And there's some grief counseling resources in the back of the book. I'm going to cry just thinking about it.
Purchase a box of tissues with the purchase of the book. Yeah. I blubbered like an idiot. So
Linda was my editor, and there might well be a few mistakes left in the book because none of us can read it again.
It's hard to read through tears.
I'll send you a copy, Michelle, when you need a good cry. That's what you read.
I was there today because it's a year shy of a week that Zeus passed away. So that I had enough. I had my fill this today. Yeah. At least for today. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's something, and all of these are questions I've gotten over the years, but I think they're also coming from the perspective of my listeners that have no idea. So that's why all these questions, if they sound weird, Okay, what do you do, or can you go on vacation?
Well, I'm lucky that I own Cat's Pet Sitting. And now that I don't own it anymore, still one of the sitters who went to the new company, Meow Tell, Barb, she's my sitter. And she'll come twice a day. She spends a good 90 minutes to 2 hours with my cats. Linda luckily has built-in cat sitters. Right, Linda?
Yeah, I'm fortunate that, it would be an issue if we took a family trip, although I don't remember what that is. That was pre-COVID, so I'm not really sure what that is about. But if we all went somewhere together and we're going to be gone overnight, I would hire a cat sitter to come at least once a day. But with not, there's automatic feeders and things you can do. The cat's not going to starve, but there's also trouble that they can get into or they could get ill or so. I won't let them go over 24 hours without being seen. Fortunately, all of my traveling in the last year and a half has been coming to see Rita on business stuff. So I usually bring one of my kids with me and the other one is at home and my husband. So they take care of it.
That's the best way. If you can keep your cats in your home and have someone come and, sitter come and take care of them or something, that's always the best.
Yes.
Cats don't board well. Cats don't board well at all. Unless you're having your house fumigated or something and there's a reason to get them out of the house, I don't recommend boarding.
I've been fortunate in all the years I've had pets or fur babes. I've never had to board. So I'm just grateful that I haven't, because I'm sure boarding places, it's nothing against boarding places. I'm sure they do a good job and whatever, but I think if they do better in their home and
they do
not contained,
they
because a lot of boarding places have to put them in a large crate just for safety reasons. So
could you see me taking 19 cats to a boarding facility?
No.
I think I need to have an Amex Black card to afford it.
What is the vet like? Are your vet trips, or how many do you go on a month? Or
I'm there all the time. They're about to name a wing after me, I swear. But I love my Dr. Glenn at Faulkner Animal Hospital in Lancaster, South Carolina. He is awesome. And he's like me. He doesn't believe in over medicating, giving them shots they don't require. They give me the 3-year, I think it is, shots. So I don't have to take them in every year unless somebody's having a problem. But as my cats are getting older, I've made sure all my seniors have had a senior panel. They have the baseline. They've been seen. Some of my younger ones have been recently because they've been spayed and neutered more recently. But I leave my carrier out. My cats play in it, so they're not so scared of it. So when it does come time, I just had to take Missy on an emergency basis, even though she's been to the vet recently. One of her claws grew into her paw, and she's a very touchy cat. I can't clip her or anything. So I had to take her in Thursday, and my vet is so great. They were able to take care of it without putting her under. So it's really important that you have a veterinarian who's going to listen to your needs and not prescribe every test in the free world because they're trying to make bank,
Exactly.
Make a ton of money on me, but they're easy on me because they know I have so many cats and they know what I do for a living, which is awesome. My vet's always asking me questions about what we do and our radio show, and he's a big fan. He's a closet fan of ours.
You should have him on one time.
We're trying. We're working on it.
He's very modest. Actually, he just got over having COVID, even though he had the COVID shots.
Yeah.
Now, I just had not that long ago a show about choosing your vet.
Uh-huh.
I agree with you. And I've also talked a lot with Dr. Jeff Werber, who hosts, Ask the Vet with Dr. Jeff. He's so knowledgeable. We have a lot of knowledgeable people, and they echo what you say. They don't need every shot in the world that there is. It depends on the environment, your cat, if they're not outdoors and it's not something that's even close that they can contract in this part of the country or something, you don't have to, it's not really necessary. And I had a situation where the vet was just so horrible. And this is with my dog, that I left and I was just horrified, and I thought, I have to do something. I have to get somebody else, because it's unfortunate. And I don't want to say it's all young vets, but this one, in my case, it happened to be a young vet, and it was just handled so mechanical. So here's the bill. This is what it's going to cost. Do you want us to do this? It's just the worst. Yeah. So especially if you have so many cats, you want a vet that you can jive with, that understands your needs and, is there for you, not just needs to make a house payment or something.
Yeah. Cats especially are so subtle with their signs of illnesses. Yeah. Your vet has to trust you. If you come in and just say, I don't know, something's wrong. I can't tell you he's limping, he's crying, but something's wrong. And there are vets that'll be like, there's something wrong. And then there are those that will listen to your instincts. It's the same thing as when you have children with your pediatrician. I don't know, she's just not acting right. I can't explain it. And they either poo-poo you or they listen to you and try to figure out what's wrong. That's the doc you want to go with.
I had a big fight with one of my former vets because he thought I should euthanize one of my cats. She wasn't ready. I knew she wasn't ready. And he screamed at me
Oh,
And I just calmly picked up my cat and said, thank you very much. I left. And I'm not going to say the vet's office name because the lead vet, I liked him. And it's one of the vets that my mom's organization used. They don't use them anymore. But I actually got a handwritten apology letter from the vet, but I still won't go back there.
good. Oh, yay. Because, more people pet parents, I think, should take that kind of action. If they're not treated with respect, if their pets are not treated with respect, if it's just, a matter of money, here's the bill, there's this, whatever, then that's not the vet you want to go to.
And that cat lived 2 more years. The next vet I went to said, you're right. She's not ready yet. We can still, she was still happy and eating and, wasn't in any pain. There was no reason to euthanize her yet.
I would forgive that vet. He wrote you a letter. That was nice. I've forgiven you. I hold no ill will. But yet you've proven where your listening skills are. So yeah, I wouldn't go back either. It's not a punishment. It's what's in the best interest of my cats.
Right. Exactly. Best interest of your cats and what you're comfortable with.
Yes.
Because if it was a doctor, I've also walked out of people doctor appointments when I asked a question or something. They just gave me a bunch of that. So you know what? Goodbye. Okay. Let's get back on the horse. All right. Here's my last question.
Okay.
Would you do it again?
I don't know. Probably. Probably.
Yeah. I'm sure I would.
Maybe 1 or 2 cats, but would you go to the super multiple, as I would call it?
I have no desire to ever be at 11 again. And then again, it wasn't my desire in the first place. But 5 to 7, I think, is probably my max. But the main reason is it's a lot of work and I'm getting older. I'm in my mid 50s. Things are starting to crack a little bit. I need to be the best for my cats. And one of the reasons I was so excited, Michelle, when you said you wanted to do this, and I was like, I could kiss you, because there is a big misunderstanding about people who have lots and lots of cats. There are cat hoarders out there. Yes. I actually saw an episode of Hoarders and it happened by accident. She lived in the country. People were dropping off the cats. She couldn't afford much. She didn't get them spayed and neutered. It was crazy. And it was a horrible situation. There are people that will fill the void. They have a void. They fill it with alcohol. They fill it with drugs. They fill it with fluffy cats. That's a great thing, right? If you cannot afford to pay attention to these cats, somebody better be petting this cat every day, okay? If you're alone with 19 cats, that's a tough pill to swallow. I am lucky in that I have 3 other people in my home that
There's
can help
always
me with
someone on me, unless I'm here doing a podcast, then they're next to me. But yeah, there's always somebody sitting on me.
Sometimes
always.
several. If you cannot afford the food, if you cannot afford the vet care, Rita has run into several just in the last year, a couple of cancers, a thyroid, a diabetic. If you get
a liver
disease,
and we don't know what's going on with Cupcake yet.
Yeah.
We're still investigating.
If you have 10 cats, it's a numbers game, right? If you have 5 cats, you're probably in danger of one of them having a problem. If you have 20 cats, you're probably in danger of 5 of them having a problem. It's a numbers game. If you can't afford that vet treatment, then you should not have those cats. If you cannot afford good food, doesn't have to be the most expensive, but protein-based
food.
Yes. If you cannot afford to do the things that your cat needs, your cat's basic rights, then you should not have those cats. And if you bring them in anyway, I'm going to say you're a hoarder. But it can be done responsibly. And I love Chewy because if you go to the grocery store and put 8 jugs of cat litter in the back of that,
so what's the first question you get?
How many cats do you have? And she's going to look at you very judgmentally.
I used to lie.
Judgy cashier.
I used to lie.
Yes, we all did.
But then I started shocking them and saying 20. Like waiting for them to make something of it. Nobody said a word because
nobody knows what to say to that.
I don't know. I love Chewy too.
Yes.
Even though I'm only buying like 1 huge box of litter or something.
Right.
And maybe, I don't know, 6 cases of cat food. They deliver.
1 box of litter.
Yes.
1 box of litter.
Service is good. I love them.
Yes, I do too. Yes. I go through what's 1 box of litter? Yeah, exactly.
I go through 24 a month. 24.
Well, the double size.
Yeah. Well, and it's heavy and it's being dropped in your door. It's good for $1 million. And I don't have to carry it in the house. It's delivered right out front beside my front door. But the biggest thing really is, that person who's going to look at me if I buy what I buy every other week from Chewy. And how many cats do you have?
Well, my mom and dad had 8 dogs. Now they have 5 because 3 of them have passed away. But yeah, she'd get the same thing when she goes to get dog food. How many dogs do you have? Right? Because the cart's full of dog food.
There's an automatic assumption that your house is going to stink. There's cats everywhere, but cats, there's some of them are upstairs, some one's on the tree. You come in, you're probably going to have 4 or 5 cats in the living room with you. You're not going to have 11. That's just not how it works.
I wouldn't recommend, though, anybody listening, I would not recommend going out and getting 11 or 19 cats, right? It happened to us because of our involvement with rescue and shelters. But, there's a lot of us out there, and in doing the pet sitting and the behavior counseling, we've discovered that a lot of people are out there that have the numbers we have because they've been involved in rescue or because they're in a situation where they live where people drop off cats all the time and they hide it. They lie about it because they don't want to be judged. I was dating somebody for a very brief period in Los Angeles. Actually, we're just like hanging around as friends to see if we wanted to date. But at that point, I think I had 15 cats. And he just one day just yelled at me, "Why do you have 15 cats, Rita?" Like trying to get to this root cause of
what's wrong with you, dear? What has caused the hole in your soul?
And it's not that. That's not why I have them. But there are people who have them for that reason.
You know what? Listening to both of you, I want to say, what is it their business? What is their business?
Good. Yeah.
If you choose to have, if I were to say something, I would say, well, you must have a lot of cats. What are your kind of cats do you have? Just to be curious, but I wouldn't be judgmental. I would want to know about kinds and, this. Oh, you know what? I lied. I have one more question. You guys have favorites?
Yes.
Yes. Just like when you have human kids, you have your favorites. And
my sweetie pie is my absolute favorite because she looks like a kitten still. She's a tiny little thing. She's 2 years old. She's long hair, fluffy, beautiful, dilute calico. She's got Cattitude. And I just love that stinking little girl. She's my baby.
She is. If you see Rita with her, that's her daughter. Yes, 100%. Truly, just as with kids, I love all of my cats. An equal amount would jump in front of a truck for any of them. But my Kismet that I got from North Carolina was FIV positive. Nobody wanted him. Somebody dumped him. He had been an in-home cat because when he got rescued, he was very purry and lovey and rubbing his face on. So he was living with a feral colony. He was beat up. Yeah. So, of course, he's my little sick kid that I really try to protect and worry about, and with FIV, I don't want him to get exposed to any germs or, and then Subra's my Velcro kitty who lays with me every night and makes it difficult to work and, is on me. She's just my lover. And
I have a few of those too.
Yeah, exactly. So I think those are my 2 favorites. Don't tell the others.
No, my other favorite is Simba. Every morning he bathes me. Every morning.
Yeah.
Rita, Linda, thank you so much for coming on Cattitude and sharing what it's like to have a multi-cat household, multi-cat household, and telling us, just your honest opinion and thoughts about all of these questions, because it's definitely been an eye-opener. And I'm sure the listeners of Cattitude are going to say, wow, that's really interesting. I didn't think that or think that. So thank you so much for making time in your busy schedule.
That's our pleasure. I want to thank Michelle Fern of Cattitude on Pet Life Radio for her interest in what it's really like to live in a multi-cat household. Linda and I both enjoyed sharing our experiences. And anybody has any questions about what it's like, feel free to visit our website, catbehavioralliance.com. Check out our blog, The Daily Muse, and ask us what it is that we go through. If you have questions about what it's like to have Maltese, feel free to ask the question. I'd also like to thank Linda Hall for being my partner in crime, my best friend, and my co-conspirator in all things cat, and Mark Winter for giving 19 Cats and Counting the space on Pet Life Radio. We so enjoy being part of the Pet Life Radio family. And don't forget, every day is Catterday.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.